Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Crucible and the fourth renewal of the Mamut English Open. You'll be aware that there's a split round in the first round of the championship, qualifiers having been played on Sunday and Monday, and you're about to see 4 matches this evening. And the first of them features one of the qualifiers, Daryl Selby, against the world number 8, Gregory Gaultier. Daryl was a very high-class junior player, and I remember well in 1990 when he was instrumental in Milan in England winning the World Under-19 Team Championship. He decided to go to Loughborough to read a degree in sports management, and having completed that, he's now back on the professional trail. And he's based at Lexton, which is in Essex. And last year I remember seeing him in the Hungarian Open where he had his best tournament, I think, by his own admission, and he beat the Pakistani number 1 Shahid Zaman to reach the quarterfinals before going out to Peter Nicol. So I'm sure on the back of 2 qualifying wins he'll be eager to put up a good show tonight. So would you welcome, please, from my right, Daryl Selby. And another world-class junior player in Gregory Gaultier, the Frenchman, who's based in Aix-en-Provence. He won the British Under-19 Open as a junior. He got to the final of the World Championships in Milan, where he lost to Karim Darwish. And since then, he's gone on to reach the very highest levels of the senior game. Last season, he became the French national champion, beating Thierry Lincou, which is a marvellous win on its own account. Although he hasn't won a major title yet, one of the Super Series titles, he got to the final of the Hungarian Open, where he lost in the 5th to the world number 1, Amr Shabana. He reached the semi-finals in Bermuda and in New York, and in New York he beat Anthony Ricketts and Peter Nicol to get there. There are hardly any of the world's top 10 that he hasn't beaten. I think David Palmer may be one of them. But the rest of them have all been beaten at some time or other by Gregory. Would you welcome, please, from France, the world number 8, Gregory Gaultier.
Hello and welcome to PSALive.tv. We're broadcasting live from the Crucible here in Sheffield. For this first round match between Daryl Selby and Gregory Gaultier. I'm hoping to be joined for this match in the commentary box by James Willstrop. Just have a quick look at the bios of these 2 players whilst James makes himself comfortable. And I won't bother showing you the head-to-head screens for these 2 players because I'm well informed that they've never met on the PSA Tour, although Daryl was saying earlier that they've played many times in youth tournaments, and I think it was an 8-0 record to Gregory. So I'll take this opportunity to welcome James Willstrop to the commentary box.
Thank you very much. Good evening, afternoon.
I think it's evening about now.
Just
about. I'm just going to turn the PA man down. He's playing his tunes pretty loud there. So we don't often cover first round matches, but when we do, this is quite a common thing that we see with the graph. As you can see, Gregory Gaultier there has been in the top 10 for quite a while recently, and Daryl Selby jumping from the near 300s down to I think it was about 46.
Yeah, I mean he's had a great little period recently. I mean he's played. I think we saw him in the Hungarian Open. I don't know. That was probably one of the last times I saw him. He qualified for that event, 5-star event. Fantastic effort there. He played Peter. I think he won in the first round. Beat Shahid Zaman and played Peter Nicol in the quarters. Put up a good show as well. He's went to university, which always kind of puts you back a little bit. But he's he's kind of got over that now, and he's really having a good crack at it, and he's having a great effort. I mean, he was a very good junior. He was in my age group as a junior, and tough, very tough, and we actually won the world team title together in Milan, which was a fantastic experience for us. So I'm really pleased for Daryl. He's a good lad, and I think it's great that he's really getting stuck in now to the squash, and I think you'll see even more signs in the near future, because he's really going for it.
Just looking at Gregory Gaultier's recent form on the PSA Tour. So there's a few quarters and semis there, but he's struggling to push past into a final.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's kind of shown real world-class form in the last 12 months. He's beaten nearly everyone now, and I think he probably just needs to believe that he can probably win a major event, because it's in the end you need to do those things, and doing them is very hard at the top of the game, because you've got to beat 5 or 6 players on the trot to win a tournament like that. And I know he's very confident in his own ability to beat any player on one day. I just think it's doing it kind of 5 days on the trot. And I suppose to an extent, I'm in a similar position to Greg, because we're both kind of 23 now, and I think the guys at 27, 28 do have a bit of a strength issue over us, and you kind of just need a bit of confidence that you can go through a tournament and beat 3 or 4 top class physical athletes. And then you've got Daryl's last few results. He's obviously had to play some of the smaller events to get right up to where he's got now, to get those points. But he's been very busy over the last few months doing that, and he's kind of reaping the rewards now. And like I say, he did very well in Hungary, and this is another 5-star main draw in Sheffield. So. Doing very well.
We can just have a quick look at the schedule there. The players have come out onto court, so we should be starting very shortly. So we've got Anthony Ricketts and Stuart Boswell at 6:30, Peter Nicol, Peter Barker at 8 o'clock, and finally this evening David Palmer and Alex Goff at 9 o'clock.
So we're up and running here, and I don't know. I think the thing is at the moment, obviously first tournament of the season is a big one for everyone. It's whoever you are out there, you're going to be a little bit shaky. you know, playing matches is completely different to training. This is the first one, so the guys will just be trying to, you know, kind of work the ball around, get into it, try and get the ball running straight, get the length going, and just trying to get some rhythm going.
I think there may have been a couple of points scored, but I've got a feeling the referees may not have any microphones, so might just quickly check on that.
Two love.
So we're just checking the scores there.
I believe it's
Yes, let. Yes, let.
2-love to
Right box, please.
2-love to Gaultier. 2-love to Gaultier.
Down.
We've seen here the first few points. Gaultier's quick feet, his speed to the front of the court, absolute qualities of his. That's what you'll see from him. It's probably his main strength. Incredibly quick to the front areas of the court. So Daryl definitely doesn't want to be going in short too soon. You've got to find a balance with Greg, but because he's so quick onto it, if you leave him up there, he'll just punish you.
4-1.
Just lots of straight play, lots just working the ball, working it out at the first few rallies. Just seeing how the court's feeling, getting used to the bounce of the ball.
Hand out. 2-4.
Oh, that's an absolutely beautiful shot from Gregory Gaultier there. In the back of the court, completely unexpected. Took it in short, whipped it through with the racket head through. Very quick racket head speed there, if you notice. Just played the short bows to the front of the court. Fantastic shot, completely took Daryl by surprise. It's pretty high pace on there. They're hitting it pretty quickly. The racket's going through the ball very fast. Obviously good length from Greg. Daryl's not finding much of a chance here at the moment. That's wonderful length to the back of the court again. Another feature of Greg's game. Very, very good length game. He's got a very strong position, very French position. If you look at Thierry Linku play as well, very square on players, but they're incredibly strong with their movement. Stand very firm in that T position. And then they make the movement look very easy to wherever they have to move. That's a good boast by Daryl, but it just shows how quick Greg is. That's what I was saying earlier. Very, very quick onto the ball in the front corners. He's going to have to be careful there. Just got to make sure he plays those shots at the right time, that's all.
Stroke to Selby. Stroke to Selby. And out.
Give him a stroke there by the looks of it.
Yes, lad. Yes, lad. 3-5. Right, please.
So 3-5. Daryl serving, 6 minutes gone. His first game. A lot of the play is taking place towards the back areas of the court, which is fully expected with these two players.
Four, 5. Yes, lad. Yes, lad.
That's a good shot from Greg. Superb shot. Again, using his very quick racket head speed. Straight through there very quickly, very low over the tin. Probably just about a let though. That's a good ball from Daryl. Cross court lobbing it. A little bit unexpected.
Hand out.
And that's exactly
4.
what the difference is between someone who's ranked 40 or 50 in the world to someone who's 8 in the world. Daryl will get a chance like that very rarely, and then when he gets the chance, you know, he's working so hard in the match that, you know, he'll often make an error like that because of over tenseness really. And again, it was an open court.
7-4.
Just showed he's under a lot of pressure. You know, sometimes it's hard when you're under so much pressure from guys like this to get the shot right. Greg uses the 4 corners superbly well, if you watch. He just basically bases his game around hitting the 4 corners of the court consistently well, and if he takes it to the front, it's right in the front, and if he takes it to the back, it's right in the back, and it's the exact width to make you work very, very hard. It's beautiful play. That's a superb boast. Pure class there.
4.
Held it well, deceived Daryl totally. Didn't even see that. Great movement again. Great movement onto that ball at the front. Just a bit loose by Daryl. He's under a lot of pressure here. It's a great shot again. A little bit lucky with the nick, but got it very wide.
Left box, please. 9 left, please. 9-4.
So we're seeing Greg putting a lot of pressure on here with the pace of his game, the pace of his movement. Basically, Daryl has to be so tight with what he's doing. So clinical, but it's very hard when you're playing someone who's looking as good as this.
James, when someone that's ranked so highly above another player is playing them, Is there a tendency to maybe step off the gas just a little bit, maybe to save a bit of energy for the rest of the tournament, or do they always sort of give?
Do you mean from Greg's point of view?
From Greg's point of view, I mean, would he sort of be thinking of his next round matches and be thinking, well, I can just place myself back a little bit here against?
No, I don't think so. No, I mean, I know what you mean, but I don't think he would be in this situation. He should be very fresh. He hasn't had any games, he hasn't had any matches over the summer. It's all been training. He'll have had match practice, but not competitive match play. So I'm sure that Greg, will be totally fired up. He'll be excited about playing. He'll be fresh, ready to play.
White box,
and,
please.
I think he'll use every opportunity to get a really good workout here and really push up the court as far as he can and make it hard for Daryl.
I suppose the flip side as well is that you want to put it to bed quite quickly and not drag it out.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I was just going to say that. I think if you start taking it easy, stepping back a bit, that's going to eventually make it hard for you anyway, because you're going to prolong the match, which you definitely don't want. I think you can't afford to do that anyway, really, now. I just think there's so many good players around at the moment. You can't afford to take your foot off the gas at any stage against any player. And this is someone 40, 50 in the world that Greg's playing, but he's got to be fully concentrating on what he's doing.
Hand out. Hand out, 5-10.
Lovely shot by Daryl. Superb. Little flick of the wrist.
Down.
The volley just down there by Greg.
Game ball.
Just trying to reach out and put pressure on the ball. Just took it in, didn't play it badly. It was just hit the tin. Great width again, superb width. Lucky, but really good width. Even if that hadn't have bounced like it did, it would have been very, very difficult for Daryl to get it because it was so wide and so deep. So first bud to Gaultier, 11-6. Very, very good looking game there from Greg. Looking very composed, very quick and nimble around the court. His movement is looking as good as ever. So a lot for Daryl to work on there. But pretty good squash by both players.
Fifteen seconds.
So a little look at the new world ranking. Well, the world ranking is from August, beginning of August. Not much of a change, really. Everything's just settled for a month or two, I think. But those are the seedings that will be going into, obviously, the major tournament of the calendar, the World Open, which obviously starts 1st September for the main draw. So those will be the seedings, and Shabana's obviously taking a bit of a hold at the top as well now. Looking very, very strong. He's obviously done kind of several tournaments on the trot. I don't know exactly how many, but several tournaments on the trot, and established himself as the world's best player last year.
Gaultier leads 1 game to love. Love all.
We're back into the action at the Crucible, the first day at the Crucible Theatre. Not a bad little crowd for the first night, 5:30 on a Tuesday.
One love.
And a tin from Daryl to start the game off. 16 minutes the match so far. Greg's pushing Daryl back all the time at the moment, under a lot of pressure with the way Greg's hitting his lengths. Superb consistency on those lengths as well.
Down. Hand out. 1 all.
The second error he's made into that front right corner. Not the easiest of areas for any of the players. That's a great shot for Daryl. On the backhand side from the back of the court. Very adventurous shot, went for it. Very skilled. Great shot. Again, it was a superb shot by Daryl into the front. But Greg showing his quickness and speed to the front of the court and picking that ball up. Superb get.
Hand out.
Again, that's a great
2
shot.
all.
Volleyed. Straight down the line, crushed it away. No chance for Daryl there. Oh, that was unlucky from Daryl there. He went in, probably should have asked for a let, to be honest, but went in and played, tried to play the ball. A little bit difficult on him, that one. We're just seeing some fantastic length from Greg here. Absolutely relentless and very consistently accurate.
Yes, let.
Yes, let. Left box, please. 3-2.
Yeah, definite let.
There's no way through to the ball. There was no way
Greg
through.
pushed it into the front of the court, left it high.
It's let ball.
Daryl would have definitely got to that ball. That was the correct decision. Well done, ref.
Down. 4-2.
Daryl's acquitting himself pretty well here, though. He can be pleased with what he's done so far. I think it's come down to a lot of crucial little errors that, you know, Greg's put him under a lot of pressure, though, and you know, you are going to make those errors when you're under so much pressure. But I think, all in all, he's stayed in there with Greg, and he's, you know, like here, he's kind of playing some good rallies himself, and he's hitting some good length, and he produced himself a chance there with the way that he made that rally, controlled that rally. So he needs to hang in here and that's a great shot again. He's done that 3 times now. Superb little flick of the wrist from the back of the court. Superb. Beautiful deception.
3-4.
So yeah, he needs to just stick in here a little bit. Just try and weather the storm, and there's a lot of pressure coming from Greg. He's crisp hitting, and he's pulling him every which way, but he's kind of weathering it a little bit. He's just got to continue to do so. Just try and hang in there a little, and he might just give himself a reward at the other side. He got himself into a bit of trouble there, Daryl. He did a lot of work in that rally, and the reason being was he left Greg short with a very average drop shot early on, and he made himself do quite a lot of work there, which you can't do with Greg, because he will put you under a lot of pressure. So he needs to just make sure that when he's going in short, into those short areas, which he should do, he's got to go in at exactly the right time.
Yes, let.
Yes, let. 4-all.
So 4-all, Daryl's kind of worked himself back into this situation now. Played some great stuff, actually.
Right, 5-4.
Won that rally on a drop shot. He's playing some very disciplined squash. He's clearly improved a lot, and I haven't seen him play for a while, but this is a very mature performance in this game. Anyway, I think the problem is now, against someone like Greg, he's just got to try and maintain it, and that's obviously the difficult factor.
Yes, let.
Yes, let. 5-4. Right. Right. Hand out. 5-all.
Yes, let.
Yes, let. 5-all.
Shot not prevented. Yes, but the shot wasn't prevented.
I think Greg just caught Daryl there on the backswing. Just asking for a let. So 26 minutes, 5-all. Second game. 26 minutes of fairly intense squash here. Both players have played very accurately. It's been pretty disciplined stuff. neither player going silly or playing too many silly shots, but we've seen a few flashes of brilliance. 3 fantastic little flicks from Daryl.
Yes, let.
Yes, let. 5 all.
Have you played Daryl yourself recently, James? Thinking back, I can hear the cogs.
Actually, no, I haven't played him recently. As I said, I've played loads of times against Daryl in the juniors. You know, we were kind of in the we were in the same age group, and we met in like a lot of the British Championship tournaments and a lot of the main tournaments in England.
Left.
So, but no, I haven't. I think, like I say, he hasn't been around playing on the PSA Tour for maybe the last 3 years or so. But like I say, when he finished university, he made his kind of prerogatives to try and
7-5.
push back up and get a good ranking and take the game more professionally. So I'm sure, you know, it'd be good to think that we can be playing again soon. He's certainly heading the right way, and if I can maintain my form, then hopefully it will happen. But yeah, I mean, he's a hard worker, so I'm sure he will keep rising. I mean, if he carries on at this rate, then he's going to be there, you know, quicker than we might think. It's a great shot by Greg.
Left,
Bit of a
please.
wrist from the back of the
8-5.
court. Took the drop on. Played it superbly well. Technically excellent. And you just see the difference here. I mean, Daryl plays superbly well to get back to 5 all. But, the difference at the top of the game when you got the world playing against the world number 8 is that they can win 3 or 4 points in a row like this after a really tough spell at the beginning of the game. And suddenly now, you know, Daryl's played really well in this game, and it's 10-5.
10-5.
Quite suddenly as well, really.
$11-5. Game to Gaultier. He needs 2 games to love.
It was a fairly quick ending to that game. 11-5 to Gaultier. And the last 7 points going to Gaultier pretty speedily indeed there.
What do you think happened to Daryl there? Because, say, the first sort of 10 points when it was 5 all, up until that point, I mean, it had taken about 10 minutes to get that far, and then it took 3 minutes for Greg to get those last 6 points. And
yeah, I mean, that's exactly the point. I mean, it's, you know, players like Daryl's level will cope with Greg for up until 5 all, or, you know, for half a game or whatever it might be, even, you know, even a bit longer sometimes. And at 5 all, he was playing well, good rallies, long rallies. He was in the rallies. It was tough squash, and Daryl looked the equal to Gaultier. So basically, it just shows the difference and the pressure that Greg's putting on, and for Daryl to play at the pace that Greg is playing at, he probably doesn't play at that pace very often. So he's now kind of playing at a new pace, and this is a new level for Daryl to be playing against. So it's going to catch up with you. You can't keep playing as well as you did at 5 all, and maybe the legs got a little bit tired, or, you know, I mean, it's just why Greg is 8 in the world and Daryl's 40 or 50 in the world. You know, those few points, really. I mean, you can cope for so long, but in the end, it's going to catch up with you.
yeah, I was just about to say, do you think it's more a stamina thing, a physical thing, or if it's more a mental thing? Because
15 seconds.
Could be. I mean, basically, I mean, a lot of at this level of sport, I mean, I would say one of the main differences is pace, and that would go for a lot of sports. You know, Greg will be hitting it a fraction earlier than players that Daryl's been used to playing against, who are ranked in the regions of 30 to 60 in the world. You know, he'll be getting onto the ball quicker than those boys. He'll be faster, he'll be fitter, he'll be able to go at that pace for longer. So this is the problem for Daryl, and you know, one of the best ways of getting up to that level is to actually play these players, of course. So this will be doing Daryl a lot of good, because he'll be, you know, he sees the way the pace that Greg is playing at. He'll be getting used to that pace. But at the minute, yeah, I mean, after
leads 2 games to love.
10 minutes of rallies like that at the beginning of that game, he's probably just tiring a little, or not able to keep up with that pace. What you need now, if you're coaching Daryl, or you know, if you're on Daryl's team, is you basically want a really good game from Daryl now. I mean, he's done very well to produce 32 minutes. He needs to he knows that he's playing a guy who's at the top of the game, who's a class player, class act, who's hitting the ball superbly well and moving very well. So it's going to be very difficult for him to win the match. But you know, he really needs to just hang on, take as much from the game as he can, keep Greg on court as long as he can, and just put a really good performance in and take as much out. You know, this is a complete learning experience. You know, when you don't play at this level week in, week out, you just learn from it. You know, so the worst thing that you could see here would be for it to just for Daryl's performance to peter out. You want a really sustained, solid performance.
Yes, left.
Yes, left. 1 love. Left, please. Left.
Good decision by the ref there, because if you notice, Greg just held the ball a little bit at the front of the court. Daryl was deceived. He slightly went forward. He was able to get back to the ball, but it was never a stroke. It was just a let ball.
Top. 2 love. Right.
Is there any difference in the sort of the refereeing and the you know, how harsh the referees are in the junior games than in these games?
Not really. I mean, a lot of the referees will referee at junior level as well. So no, I wouldn't have said that there is. I mean, I think yeah, I think it, you know, everything, it's all the same. You know, it's a game of squash in the end. So. No, I think the refereeing will be the same at any level. Obviously, there are a lot of different things to think about. You know, when you're talking about the top level of men's squash in the world, you know, there's a lot of
1, 2, right.
different movements to think about. You know, there might be a few more subtle movements that the referee has to be aware of and look into. Having said that, it's probably just as bad at junior level anyway.
Down. Hand out. 3.
Daryl going for the boast there. A bit of a risky shot again. Probably not quite the right shot to play.
Down. Left. 4, 1.
So 3-1, 4-1. Gaultier serving. 36 minutes on the clock.
5-1.
It's a lovely boast. The risky shot is the boast, but you need to be very sure with what you're doing. You need to get it right, because it can easily leave your opponent up if you hit it a little bit high. So you have got to be extra careful with it. And again, the timing of the shot's crucial.
Yes, let. 5-1.
It's good stuff from Daryl though there. He was hit a good length, a couple of good lengths to the back. Got himself onto the tee and controlling Greg a little, but then that's just, again, another feature of why world number 8 can beat somebody like Daryl, because they can turn rallies round like that. And that for someone of Daryl's ranking is very demoralising. And that was just a shot that when you're playing this type of match from Daryl's point of view, you kind of get drawn into doing it, and you know you shouldn't do it. It's just a ridiculous shot to play, but the pressure is such that you kind of, I don't think there's enough oxygen going into the brain for it to make it think.
Hand out.
So it just plays silly shots like that.
2-6.
But then it's always nice when your opponent gives you one back as well, like Greg did there. Lovely floating ball by Gregory Gaultier there from the front. Superb control by both players. That's lovely play down the side of the cut, down the backhand side.
7.
And a very deceptive reverse angle there as well from Greg. Completely full down. Yeah, lovely shot by that again, very deceptive. Just held it slightly. And Gaultier was stranded. Just held it, very good hold there. Just very subtle, but he did hold it for a slight second. Of course, that delay and that hold in the shot is a very important feature of a lot of the players who play at the top of the world game now. You're always trying to look for
Ball was out.
for extra things to beat your opponent. Bit of a dispute going on here.
Ball was out.
Looked out to me.
It's actually touched, went out.
Hand out. 8.
And they've called it out. So that takes Gaultier
3.
to 8-3, unless they've played a let on that. 8-3 it is. Gaultier serving. 9 minutes. It's been a good effort by Daryl Selby. He's played pretty well. He's shown how he can hit good length, and he can hold his own against one of the best players in the world. He's got to be very encouraged by this. And there's that hold again from Daryl Selby. A very useful device for a squash player to use. By holding your opponent, you're basically making them still on the tee. So when they're still, they have to almost set off again, which is a very, very difficult thing to have to do.
No, it's no let. No let. No let.
No let. Hand out. 4-8.
Greg doing all his little flamboyant gestures, his trademark gestures that make him very French. There.
Play on, please. I've made my decision.
Hand out. 4-8.
Still going with that, and again. Always conscious of entertaining is Greg.
4-8.
again to keep the crowd happy.
Good up. Handout 9-4.
Great width, good length from Greg there. See, he hit that width extra wide so that it would get completely past the player. He was giving Daryl no chance of getting onto the volley there.
5-9.
And that's a pretty average error, that, from Greg. I don't think he'd have gone for that one at 1-all and 8-all, put it that way. Oh, that's a fantastic finish by Gregory Gaultier. Snapped the ball so quickly, there's just no chance for anyone to read that. Just look at the racket head speed there, just hammers it away, hacks it. No chance for his opponent. And Daryl's looking at a match ball here, it's 10-5. Just needs to keep hanging in, there's no point in giving up now, just hanging in. Keep playing the rallies. Played very well, he can be happy with his performance here. Good length, good width from both players, and Daryl took in that risky boast again. Worked for him this time.
6-10, match ball.
So Daryl serving, 6-10. Good firm hitting by Daryl there. He's getting good racket head speed on those shots. Putting the extra pressure on Greg. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. Took the ball from the left-hand side of the court and volleyed it, nicked it into the front right. Superb shot. He's shown a lot of skill in this match. He's hit 2 or 3 of those flicked kill winners across the court, and going for the volley nick as well.
Game
that's a great finish. A good match, 43 minutes of quality squash there. Greg Gaultier putting in a very good performance for his first match of the season, and Daryl Selby can be very happy with that effort. He's put in a very good performance.
Are we on, please? Yeah. Gregory, congratulations. And just tell us, when you've been preparing in the summer, like for 5 or 6 weeks, and you know matches are on hand, how do you actually prepare for the match play without giving any secrets away? But what would you do to try and simulate match play?
It's been a while I didn't play, so but just remember, the last few times I've been playing, and try to be focused from the start as usual. And it's not easy, the first game after such a long time, and you have to get used to the court and try to see the ball well, because it's very bright. So just do my best.
Yeah, well, it was a pretty good best, I would have thought, for a first match of the season. But I mean, do you actually play practice matches before? Do you try to play as you get close? Do you play practice matches with players, or?
Normally. I do a bit of practice, especially with these guys, but they're sleeping right now. So, and especially the last 2 weeks, I've been training a lot on court. The last 3 weeks, I would say. So now it's different because it's more mental. You have to be focused. It's not the same in practice. So.
So were you quite happy with that tonight?
Yeah, I'm happy to win. But then I don't know if I'm really happy of my game right now, but. I'm gonna get to my peak soon. I need a few more games, then it's gonna be okay.
So I said when I introduced you that you hadn't actually won a major event, but you've beaten everybody in the world, and you had great results last year in the semis of Bermuda and Champion of Champions. I mean, apart from the Worlds, which obviously everybody would like to win, where in the world would you like to win the first major that you do win, which you obviously will one day?
Yeah, I'd like to win here. Why not? Yeah, it's a good test before the World Open. That's why I came, and it's my first time here, and so at the moment I'm happy, you know, and I hope I'll be more happy the day after. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gregory Gaultier. And I think the second match will be in about 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay, well, we'd better sign off there then and get ready for that. If it's going to be in just 5 or 10 minutes, there's a few things we need to do to get ready for it. So, just say thank you again to James Wilstrop for joining us.
No worries, well done with the sound, boys. That was good. Good effort. Good effort there.
If you're wondering what that means, it's James hadn't had his headphones turned on for the entire thing, so he thought we were talking silently all the way through that. But I hope we gave you a good show nonetheless.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for having me.
And I hope you join us again for another match.
I might do.
Okay, so that's us signing off. Good evening from Sheffield.